Wellness for Life is brought to you by Back in Motion Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, Mahabi Atwa Community Action Partnership, Natural Alternatives, and Lakeside Sports and Pain Clinic.
Hi there, I'm Matt Koffenberg. I am a physical therapist and I own Back in Motion Physical Therapy in Perham as well as Park Rapids, Minnesota. Today I wanted to share with you a program that I offer. It is a wellness-based program. It is, in essence, I call it a musculoskeletal screen or a musculoskeletal wellness check. So what exactly is this? We all go to our doctor for regular checkups. We go there for our physicals, check our lungs, check our heart, check our blood pressure, do blood work. But a lot of times during those physicals, there isn't a real huge component of musculoskeletal issues discussed, unless you go there and you have some pain and you might talk to the doctor, but they aren't necessarily screening you for any issues. So I've developed, and a lot of physical therapists have developed, musculoskeletal screens. These are available for you. They're typically 30 minutes up to 60 minutes depending on your situation. I've got different types of screens. I've got screens for athletes. I've got screens for the elderly population. And just really, really important to have these issues checked out. Why is it so important? Every single one of us at some point in our life we're gonna have a musculoskeletal issue. Whether that be a backache or a neck ache or a rotator cuff issue or knee pain. It's going to affect all of us at some point. And there are screens that we can do to let you know if you're going to be at risk for something. And then after the screen, we can develop some strategies. We can build up certain areas that might be weak. We can stretch areas that might be tight. If any of you have seen any of my prior episodes, you probably can kind of put together some various themes. There's some various specific areas that if they get weak, you potentially will have some issues later down. So it's really important that we do some of these screens so that we can prevent these issues. If we can prevent pain, when someone's in pain, they're going to be less active. They potentially might lose some time at work. Your blood pressure is going to go up. Anxiety may go up. So we really want to prevent musculoskeletal pain so that we can have healthy aging, so that we can stay at work, so that we can enjoy time with our families. Pain can be very devastating. So if we can do anything to prevent that, let's do it. So I just wanted to briefly talk today about what a general screen would look like. And I think maybe in some episodes to come, I might even get a little more specific as to why we're looking at this. Today is just a very general picture of my screen. So one component of the screen is just a general strength assessment. We'll look at your rotator cuff strength. If you've got a little bit of rotator cuff weakness, you are going to be at an increased risk of having some rotator cuff tears maybe later on. So we can pick that out. We're going to look at your shoulder blade strength. Shoulder blade strength, so our shoulder blades are here. The strength of the shoulder blade is critical to prevent cuff issues. It's critical to prevent headaches. Critical to prevent neck pain. So we're going to look at your shoulder blade strength. We'll look at your stomach strength. And it can be subtle, but people with subtle weakness in their stomach are at much higher risk of developing what we call degenerative disc disease. Very common condition as we age. We can start having some generalized back pain. And a lot of times that's due to stomach weakness. We'll look at your glute strength, buttock strength. I guarantee you if you've got weakness in the glutes, at some point you're going to have some hip pain, maybe like a hip bursitis. So we'll look at your strength. We're going to look at your flexibility. Tightness in various muscles can cause problems. Tight hamstrings increase your risk for lumbar disc issues. Tight calf muscles increase your risk for plantar fasciitis. So we'll look at some tightness or flexibility issues. We're going to look at capsular issues of the joint. Every single joint where two bones come together, elbow joint, knee joint, shoulder joint, every one of those joints has a capsule, which is like this balloon substance that surrounds that joint. That capsule can get too mobile. If you are hypermobile, you're going to have an increased risk of arthritis formation, and those joints could get too tight. If they're too tight, like at the shoulder, your risk for rotator cuff injuries goes up. So we'll look at the flexibility of your joints. So strength, flexibility of muscles, flexibilities of joints. The other key component is a biomechanical assessment. We're going to look at what your foot looks like. Are the bones positioned right? If the bones are slightly moving in one direction that they shouldn't, that could increase your risk of plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis. We're going to look at what your knees are doing when you walk and when you run, because we'll videotape you walking and running. If your knees are falling inward, you could end up with some IT band issues, some hip issues. When we do this walking and run assessment, we'll be able to pick out some subtle stomach weaknesses. So again, it takes about 30 to 60 minutes. We'll talk about this maybe in some episodes to come and get a little more specific, but I encourage you to consider having a musculoskeletal wellness screen. Give me a call if you're interested. Our number is 218-346-2464.
Thank you for watching Wellness for Life. Brought to you by Back in Motion Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, Mahabi Atwa Community Action Partnership, Natural Alternatives, and Lakeside Sports and Pain Clinic.